So, hello fellow mappers. Nice to see you here, or not see you in my case actually, but I hope you're looking forward to our today's live mapping session as I am, and you're all healthy and safe and doing some nice mapping along the way. I'm Ralph Sherman of Fantasy Software, and tonight I'm going to use the campaign cartographer to create a nice little city street scene along with a floor plan location, and showing you some features of the dungeon and city tools along the way. But to start, I want to give a quick overview of our mapping interface to those people who haven't seen one of our videos before and haven't worked with campaign cartographer yet. So let's take a look at our mapping interface here, where I've got our nice little waiting text and the beautiful symbols by Mike Schley. That's where my map will be created in a few minutes. That's the main drawing area where all the action is taking place. To the left of that is our catalog window. That's where we load up symbol catalogs and drawing tools that can be placed in the map. And further left are the two left drawing toolbars with commands from the standard drawing tools for map style to editing tools, all the major things you need for manipulating your entities on the map. Above the drawing window is our catalog toolbar. That's where you can switch between different symbol catalogs, going from mountains to structures and other things depending on the map style you're using. Above the catalog toolbar is the file toolbar, where you can save and load your current map, start new ones, print, and switch between all the different menus from the different add-ons that can be installed with Campaign Cartographer. Above that is the the properties bar, where you can see the currently selected drawing properties like the active sheet, the current drawing layer, the color chosen, fill styles, line styles, and stuff like that. And going above that is the menu, where you find all the commands and text forms as well. And to the right is the are the two catch toolbars that contain basic drawing tools like polygons, lines, arcs, circles, zoom functions, and ordering functions for the drawing. All the very basic cat functionality that can be used. And below everything is the status bar, where you can see the current commands you're entering and what the commands are expecting, and the grid functions and snap functions to the right of that. You'll see that in action a little bit later. So what do I want to do today? I was thinking I'm going to create a little city scene or city location with a big building or a few buildings, and create a floor plan for one of those buildings, showing you some very neat functionality in the software that makes that very comfortable. And so what I'm going to start from a completely fresh map. I'm going to create a little city scene, city streets first. For that, I'm going to click the new map button. Not going to save my current drawing. And for the map type, I'm going to draw the city. Going to choose the cities. Click next, and then I've got all the different drawing styles available. I'm going to use the symbol set 5, cities of Schley, but everything I'm going to be showing will be, you can do with any of the other cities drawing styles as well. So click next, and because I'm thinking I'm just gonna create a little marketplace or something, I'm not gonna need a huge amount of space on the map, so I'm just gonna go with 200 by 160 feet as the area I want to draw. See, these dimensions are in real world units. And I'm going to go one more step and select as the background, not the grass, because I'm going to be right in the middle of the city. So I'm going to use an earthen fill, like the streets earth fill. That sounds good. The terrain earth would be nice as well. Let's go for the terrain fill style. And then I'm just going to click finish and save my map. City market. And here's my basic drawing where I'm going to be placing all my buildings and stuff. With one of the building catalogs already loaded automatically and the city designer menu interface loaded up on top. So what's going to be my main feature? The thing in the building I want to create the floor plan for is going to be a temple. So I'm going to switch to one of the different symbol catalogs up here. This is the default catalog that is loaded, and I'm going to switch to the classic catalog because that has some nice temples or church symbols in there. So I'm going to quite like this large temple symbol. I'm going to start by placing that in the map. I'm going to line it on the right side, just because that's what I like to do. And I might enlarge it a bit. It's a bit too small for my taste. I want to be a bit more dominating on the map. So I'm going to right click and actually put in a numerical scaling. I want it 1.5 times the size as normal. Click more and you see my temple symbol is a lot larger now. Let's place it here on the right side, of the drawing. There we go. You can see that the city designer does an automatic roof shading. The light is coming from the top left and the roof is shaded to match that as I place it down. And let's turn on the sheet the sheet effects are already turned on, which is nice. So you can see the building is casting a shadow. So next up, I want to add my actual marketplace. It's not going to be an earthen area. It's going to be paved. So I'm going to click my roads tool with the right mouse button and see where I've got some paved roads. Here they are. And also paved square. I'm going to click that and let's draw nice market square in front of the temple. Larger. There we go. Refresh to show that the paving is nicely in the background where it belongs. And then I'm going to need a few streets, bigger streets to be running into the square. So I'm going to use the road tool again. I'm going to do the wide roads. One up here, one down here, and the other one going to the left. So that's my general square and roads layout. So I do need a few more buildings around that. For that, I'm turning back to my symbol catalog and click one of the symbols here. And I'm going to right click and set the size back to normal. You see, once you've changed the size of a symbol, CC3 Plus will remember the current size unless you change it again, but I want to go back to my normal building size. So I'll go clicking set normal and it goes back to scale 1. So here's my building. See, if I hover with the mouse over the edge of the square, the building actually attaches to the edge there. But I can also just scale and rotate it here with holding down Shift and Control and moving with the mouse. Well, this looks good. And once I've placed it in the direction, I can adjust the distance of the building from the edge of the square. Go, that's a nice one. With the tab key, I can cycle through different buildings from the catalog. That's good. Let's choose a different one here. There we go. This is a nice big one. Might wanna put it up here on the left. We can now go beyond the map border. If I refresh, you see that the map border actually covers up any buildings going across. And if I don't want to place the building matching an edge, I can always go in and disable smart symbols and then do something like this, but that doesn't quite match my view of the place here. Let's do it like this. And if you want to switch up colors a bit, if you want to put in some little bit different colored roof buildings, you can always switch the color and use one of the vari-color symbols. These will choose the currently selected drawing color for the building you are drawing, but the blue ones might be a bit too different from the current one. This is actually quite nice. One in here and a bigger one. That's too large. The building here. So that's quite nice. Got my nice layout. Perhaps put one here a little bit in the corner to show that there are more buildings beyond that little bit of map we are drawing. There we go. So now we do need a little action on the square. So I'm imagining a fountain perhaps and some statues in front of the temple. So I'm going to switch back to my default catalog and scroll down here, or I can right click on the catalog and it will open up the whole thing over the whole window. And here you can see I've got some statues, pedestals, a nice large fountain. This is a good thing. Put it in the middle of the map. Again, this could be a little bit larger. I'm holding down Control and moving the mouse now to scale it visually. It looks nice. There's my fountain. But if I refresh now, I see that my fountain casts the same long shadow as my buildings do, and of course it's not as high as a house and the shadow wouldn't be as big. So I'm gonna undo that, choose the fountain again and choose a different sheet, and I'm going to use the symbols low sheet to place the fountain. And you're going to see that the shadow is much shorter now, indicating that the structure it is coming from is much lower. Same can go for pedestals, for a couple statues. I've got a large pedestal. This is too large now, so I'm going to set this back to normal. I'm going to put this here in front of the temple. And then I'm going to place a couple statues. Here, this angel is nice for the temple. And this is going to go on the normal symbol sheet again, because the angel statues are pretty high. So I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to rotate my angel, actually turn off the snap grid here so I can adjust exactly where I place it, and place the two statues on their pedestals. There we go. Then I think there might be a market going on, and I'm going to choose a few market stalls. This is okay. I can rotate that with the arrow keys as well in 90-degree steps. And I think the market stalls should also go on the symbols low sheet. Here with a nice wagon. Cycling through the different symbols with the tab key. Rotate it. There's my market on the square. And as a final little touch, I'm gonna add just a few trees on the map, and they are gonna go on the symbols high sheet because the trees are larger than the rest. Nice big one here. Smaller ones. And a final one up here. You can see that some of the symbols are extending beyond the screen edge that is covering up the map border, but that's no matter for printing or exporting. You can set it to just print or export the stuff that's within the map border. And so you don't need to worry about that. So that's my nice little market screen. Finish the map symbol placement. And before I go on and to show how to create a floor plan for our temple, let's take a quick look whether we've got any questions so far. Not looking like that right now, so everybody's still just watching, which is nice for me, but don't hesitate to ask if you've got anything you want me to do. Yeah, Brian, you're quite welcome. It's nice to be doing these videos. Actually, I'm quite enjoying this more than I thought originally. It's always a bit scary to go live on video, and things do go wrong sometimes, but overall it's just been great fun doing them. So we've got our nice little scene here. Might actually already be a good starting point for a battle in your role-playing game, fighting against some guards on the market square, and then everything's going to spill over into the temple. And so we do need a battle map, a floor plan for the temple. And City Designer does have a very nice feature for that. That's the floor plan command up here on the left, which lets you create the floor plan outline for a building you choose. So I'm just gonna click the floor plan command. Oh, if I actually hit it, there we go, and select our building. You can see by the purple frame that it's been selected, and then I'm just gonna do it, and I get the floor plan creator. This offers me a different styles which my floor plan can be in, depending on which add-ons you've got installed. If you've got Dungeon Designer 3, it's got the Dungeon Designer fill styles in there. City Designer comes with a few pre-selected ones already. And since I've got Symbol Set 4 installed, we can also choose the Dungeon of Slay style, which fits the Cities of Slay style very well. So I'm going to be using that. I'm going to give the building a name. So this is going to be the Temple of Isis for me. The Greek goddess, not the modern terrorist organization, of course. And here I can say whether I want the building aligned to the next straight edge, or that north should be always straight up. I'm going to be going for north straight up here in my map. the number of floors. So I just don't need to do just one floor. I can also say I want an upper level, cellar, and so on. So I'm going to go 2 above ground levels. That will be the ground floor and the first floor for the Americans among us. And I'm also at roof drawing. That means the roof is going to be a separate drawing. The naming scheme, we can choose between different types how we enumerate building floors in here. I'm going to stick with the default American. And that's it for now. I'm just going to click. It's going to do its thing. And we can see dark purple outline, which means that this is a hotspot now. You can also see that the cursor is changing from arrow to a pointy finger as I move across the edge into the building. And that means I can click on here now, save my map, and then it's gonna open up a floor plan. Let me turn on the sheet effects. And there's my floor plan. This is the same size and shape as the building I've drawn on the city map, but with all the different layers and sheets for a building floor plan. And I can go from here and work with that. I've got also a little menu here to switch to the other maps, the other drawings that have been created. I can go back to the main map. I can show the roof. I can go to the upper floor, or I can go down into the basement. And I would now go on and might change a few things. For example, I don't like the text type font for this very much, so I'm just going to go change text properties, change all my text here, and I'm going to go with this up here, Caslon, Adobe Caslon somewhere. No, I quite like that. This is Gothic. There we are. Oh, this is a bit too large, so I'm gonna do Caslon and see that we're making this a bit smaller here. This is quite nice, nicely spaced out. I can comfortably read that, and that's easier to hit the different entries. So for example, if I want to see the upper floor, I can click floor 2 here, save my current map, and again turn on sheet effects, and there's my upper floor. Same shape, but as you will notice, it's got a wooden floor showing instead of the stone floor of the main floor. Here we go. Here we are again. And here I can start creating my map. I remember my entrance to the temple is on the left side, on the west side of the building. So I can load up the doors catalog. That's all from the symbol set 4. Choose the double doors here and perhaps turn on my snap, so I know it's going to be in the middle. There's my door here. I can also see add interior walls. Click the walls button here, and actually I might not know exactly which width and bitmap style, fill style my walls have, so I'm just going to show you that first. I'm going to choose info, list, and list the wall entity here. This is the floor actually. I've selected both, and here are the walls, sheet wall on the walls. They have the fill style natural stone 5, SS4, and a width, line width of 0.5, so half foot width. So if I want to draw a matching interior wall, I'm gonna scroll down here, and this is current width, where I could set the width, but I also have half a foot width stone walls here. Stone 5. And I can just draw a wall in here, inside. So that's my interior wall for dividing the main room. Otherwise I'm just gonna keep it simple and do a big altar room. Gonna switch to the temples and tombs catalog, and for example I've got some nice pillars here. Might even make them a little bit larger, so make it scale 1.5. I like to work with grid turned on for such floor plans, because it makes the scaling or the placement nice and regular automatically. So yeah, I've got some pillars here. Perhaps put a couple more. One here and another one up here. Then we do need an altar, of course. Let's put that here in front of the wall. Again, we've got the same principle here with the shadows. The pillars are high and will therefore cast a long shadow. The altar will be lower. So then I can do the command move to sheet, select the altar, and let me show you a little shortcut here, which I actually don't use myself very much, but I think it's actually very convenient. I should be getting used to it. If you want to execute a command, you normally have to right click and do it and select do it to execute the command. But you can also just press D on the keyboard, and there's my execution of the command and the drawing sheet I can choose. So the 2 clicks saved. I should really get it myself to be doing that. It's much quicker than just the mouse clicking. But I'm very much used to using the mouse for everything, so it's a habit. So then that was the altar. Let's get a few benches for the believers into the map. Here's a bench. Snap again, perhaps. Yeah. That's actually a bit inconvenient. Put them down here. And another thing what you can often do to make things quick and easy without placing everything again is just a copy of an existing symbol. There's my second row of benches. Going back to the temples, I've got a lectern here that I might want to place, or a whole pulpit. Let's go with the lectern. Actually might zoom in a bit so we can see better how this should be arranged. It should be this way around. Turn off snap for that so I can place it freely. There's my lectern. So then I probably need some stairs going upstairs. I know we've got an upper floor, so I'm going to use the up and down and choose one of the stairs here. This is actually up is the other side. Turn snap on again, and I'm going to measure this. Is the higher open room here, and it's going up to a second level here on the side. Also on the opposite side of the room. Then I do need some doors to go into the back part of the building. The doors I'm actually going to switch to a different sheet. door here, one door here. And I might actually put in another wall here, making that 2 rooms at the back. There's my wall. There we go. And I also need, just crosses my mind, I do need a stair going down into the cellars. So I'm going to use a spiral stair for that here in the corner. Perhaps actually put it here. And then you can put in some things like amphoras, some barrels, just some supplies. This is going to be the storeroom, and the other room is going to be the priest's preparation room. So we do need a cupboard and a table somewhere, a desk. Got a nice little table somewhere. I know that there's a table. This might be a bit large. The 4-chair table is nice. There we go. So, and we're almost ready to go up to the next level. Before we do that, let's take a look whether we've got any more questions. Okay, is there a shortcut for refresh? Yes, there is actually a shortcut for refresh, and it's another of these things I should be using instead of always clicking the redraw button up here. And you can see that on the view, redraw is Control R. So if I'm adding something here like the carpet, it's supposed to be on symbols flat, that's correct, zoom in a bit, place it here, press Control R, and there you can see it's behind or below the table with the chairs, actually, the carpet. Yes, some of the congregation will be stuck behind the pillars. That's true. You got to have to use what you got. If you've got a nice big altar room with big pillars, you're gonna use it. I says, can suggest to move the pillars further to the side. Yes, we could actually do that, seeing that doesn't make that much sense here with the benches and the pillars. So let's do that. Let's just use the move command. Select all the pillars here. You click the edges. D for do it. And turn on snap. And let's move the 2 grid snaps down and these 2 grid snaps up. There we go. And in that case, we might even move the benches a little bit in. Oh, no, that's too narrow. I would need to make that. Oh, but it's a good opportunity to show you another feature. I can move them around freely by just turning snap off, but then I might have trouble having them aligned exactly, the top row and the lower row. But what I can do for that, I can turn on the ortho button for orthogonal. That means if I select them, do it, I can only move them down or up or left or right in a 90-degree angle. So I'm just going to use that to move them down a little bit, and the others just up about the same amount. Control R for refresh. And that looks good. Is that okay, Quentin? I hope so. So let's go to the upper floor. I'm going to click the floor 2 button. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cancel this. And because I want to copy something over the stairs, because I know they're supposed to go in exactly the same spot. So I'm going to do Control C for copying to the clipboard. Copy the 2 stair symbols, do it, and use 0, 0 for the copy origin. So just right click. Now I'm going to go to the upper floor. And now I'm going to do Control V to paste the stair symbols and type 0.0 for the same insertion point. And now them are at exactly the same spot as on the lower level. So I know this is where they are coming up. So I'm gonna take another look at the walls here. And that's the floor. Again, I'm seeing the walls here. They have the same fill style and the same line width. So I'm fine using the same tool again. There it is. Using the endpoint modifier F5 to attach it to this corner. So I have the same wall here as in the lower level. But of course I do need a space for the wall. So I'm going to use the break command. Select the wall here and choose the edges of the stairs to break an opening in there. Control R for refresh. This is where my stairs lead up into the back room. Now I can also say perhaps I've got a gallery running around the upper floor. And for that, I'm going to do a little trick. I've got a floors raised tool. That's normally for doing stuff like pedestals or other raised sections of floor. And here I'm going to use it to show a bit of floor below the current level. I'm going to right click the floor tool and choose the default floor. And actually I want to turn on snap here and say this is my gallery running around the upper floor. Let's do that by trying it this way, which means that I do need to edit it a little bit up here to do the same thing. There we go. So you can see this is how it's supposed to look, that and it does look like the stone floor is now raised up above the wooden floor here, and that's not how I want it to look. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to remove something from here. I'm going to remove the outer glow. This is the inside glow and this is the outside glow. So I'm going to uncheck that. So it's still there if I want to use it again. It's just not going to be active. And now it looks much more like the stone floor is actually below everything else. I might even do a little more here. I'm gonna strengthen this glow here, make that a 5-foot or even 8-foot blur radius, and I'm gonna add a little blur itself to so it looks like it's further down and not as clear. See whether that looks okay. It's the first time I'm trying this. So that's not bad. So this is look down onto the lower level. So one could use the wall tool again. Where am I? There to perhaps do a few more separations here. Two little anti-rooms and break doors into these. See, if you feel that the doors are a little bit large for the room, you can always make them a bit smaller, say 0.75. Here. And so there's our little upstairs rooms for the priest. He's probably gonna have some nice cozy bed up here. Lower symbols. An armchair. A bath in one of the side rooms. Another cupboard, make that a bit larger. And where's my carpet? Oh, here's a rich rug. And this is going to go on the symbols flat floor. Yeah. Here we go. So another nice little trick you can do is if you want to show some more stuff that's actually on the lower level. Just going to show that to you here. Go back to the lower level and copy the stuff that would be visible below here. Again with a clipboard copy. It's gonna be all this stuff here. Okay, do it. Clipboard origin 0, 0. Go back to the upper floor. Paste that again to 0.0. And then do move to sheet. Or actually, this is not going to work quite as I imagined because I don't have actually a sheet below this. This is a sheet on top. It's going to be, what I was thinking is was that I could hide them behind the wooden floor section here, which I can't because it's actually below the stone floor. So just let's scrap this idea for here. That's not going to work like I imagined, and it's going to be too long if I want to go ahead and change that. That might be something for a future session. So just undo. Okay, that's good enough for me for the moment for the upper level. Let's take another look at whether we got any more questions. Okay, where are the different symbols drawings stored? This is a fixed location, fixed order for the from the floor plan drawing from the floor plan tool, and it depends on where your main map is. Let's take a look at my downloads. The order, the folder I am working on. Just a minute, or if you find where's my working folder. Here we are. I'm in the Pro-Fantasy Streams folder. I'm working in my city buildings folder, and the city market here is my main map, the main map I created, and it's gonna create a subfolder for that, city market floor plans, and in this will be the different drawings for the various floors of the building. And you can move that around as long as you keep the city market subfolder underneath the city market drawing. Yes, the links will move with the maps automatically. I can show you a little bit how that looks. Actually, I want to change the text properties here anyway. No, come on. Change text properties. As I did in the previous one, Adobe Cosla and 3.5. Oops. Here we go. If I do view, show hyperlinks, it's going to show you the hyperlinks in here and you can edit them. So I can go numeric edit, click the first hyperlink, and load rel is short for load relative, and that means it will load the map relative to the location of the current map, going up a folder and loading the main map city market. If I do the same on here, it's going to stay in the same folder and load the map Templifies roof. There we go. And if you keep these all neatly together, you don't need to worry about where they are on your hard drive. And we can hide the hyperlinks again because we don't want to see them. So next up is the basement. Again, zoom and turn on the sheet effects. And you can see that the fill styles are different again. I've got earthen background and a darker stone wall. And here you can do the same as in the other map. Let's go back to the main map. Let's grab our circular stairs. Control C. Grab the stairs. D for do it. 0.0 as the origin. Go to the basement. Control V for paste. Type in 0.0. And there's our staircase. So to list, see what fill style the walls are using here. Still the same, natural stone 5. So I'm gonna right click the walls tool. Gonna look for my half-foot wide wall. There we go. And now I can put in some walls in here. Say, if my corners and so on are not correctly aligned with the snap grid, that's no big deal. Let's move them across here. Say, that's not how I want. It's actually, is that correct? Yeah. See, the wall is going outside. I can use the trim command here, trim to entity, to trim my wall to the edge of the floor. And there's, if I move this up here, I can do the same to trim the walls to my outside part of the map. And that way I'm working nicely on the preset grid. See, it's gonna be the same down here. Gonna use my trim again. And it's not the tools I wanted. I wanted the wall tools again. And put in one more wall up here in the middle. And then I can go in and add a few more doors. Connecting all the rooms to each other. And there's my cellar layout. Again, let's do a few edits in the text properties here. Dover Caslon Pro 0.35 size. And what I might want to do, I want to move the basement down here a bit to give that a little bit more space. And then I can go in and add things like doing some braziers in the corners of this room. Let's take a look at the central room. Turn off the snap. Coal brazier in each corner. I've got a nice big nasty pentagram in the middle. Perhaps do some smaller incense burners on the edges. A bit of smoke, smaller. See, this symbol should actually be not cast any shadow because it's flat on the floor. So I'm going to do move to sheet, this to the symbol's flat sheet. There we go. And then we might perhaps want to, do we have some monsters in here? Not in the Mike Schley style actually, but we could go looking for some other monster symbols. We've got some in DD3, in the Geomorph Cult Creatures catalog. There it is. See, there's a nasty demon here, which we're going to place in the center. It's not going on the low sheet, it's going on the full symbols sheet, center of the pentagram. That's how you can use symbols from different catalogs which don't belong to the Mike Schley style in the same catalog, in the same style here. And you can fill out the rest of your cellar with some nice stuff. You might even want perhaps use some create some tunnels that are leading out of the basement. We can do that with the corridor. Let's do add corridor. And choose the brown floor background here is okay, but we do need the stone brown symbol fill, natural stone, grass, dirt brown. There we are. No, it was the stone actually that we were using before, so we should be here somewhere. Symbols, is that the one we've been using? I'm unsure now, but it doesn't matter that much. We can use any of the darker browns without a problem. So let's just use the dark earth one. It's good for the underground tunnels anyway. And I can press B to connect that to an existing floor plan, even if it's not been drawn with the room and corridor tools before. And it still puts a nice break in there. Or I could go in and use one of the room drawing tools to edit the current one, but that one tunnel is enough for me. And there's our basement. Let's take another look whether we've got any more questions. Oh, doesn't look like that at the moment. So let's take a look at the remaining drawing that we've got in our selection here, and that's the roof. And there we are. And you can see that's just our symbol that we've placed in the main map, placed here as the roof drawing. And it does have an artifact, that's the line that defines the entrance or the main side of the building, where the road, it lines the roads and so on, and that ends up here. But since it's the symbol has been broken up, I can just unlock the group it is in and use erase to erase this bit. And there we go, it's gone. Change text properties here on the links. Oh, okay, gotta check the Adobe font in here again. Go. This our text changed. Move the roof down a bit. Of the title of the floor plan. And one more check on the base, drawing floor. Also want to move the title down a bit. And from here I can go back to my main map. And the link to the other maps is always from the building itself. Okay, so suggest to add a shadow to the roof plan, which is actually a good idea. So I'm just going to go back, go to the roof, and see on which sheet this is actually on. It's on the floors sheet, so it's not, we're gonna move it somewhere, or we can just, because we don't have anything else on here, could add a drop shadow to the roof, but instead I'm going to use move to sheet, move this to it, and we can just put it on the symbols or symbols trees for larger shadows. Well, let's put it on the symbols sheet. Go. No, don't we have a... There we are. There's our drop shadow on the roof. Or what we did we have a tree on the main map somewhere there? Actually, we do. Perhaps these would be a little bit visible. So shall we show you how I copy these over? I do the control copy for the clipboard again. Choose my two trees. Do it, and then I'm going to choose a point on the building itself, the middle of the dome here, and then open it and the roof, and paste the trees in here, the same location. Note that I'm not typing in 0, 0 here, but choosing the same insertion point by hand. There we go. To refresh. And might be that this drawing template didn't have a symbols high sheet. See, yeah, then it added these at the end of the list here. Let's move that to the symbol trees. See, the two templates, the city and the floor plan template, are a little bit differently set up. In the city template, the trees were on the symbols high sheet, and here they would be on the symbols trees sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move these from the symbols high to the symbols trees sheet. and then they will cast the appropriate shadows. And I'd say that's quite nice work for an hour here with a city square map with a little marketplace, some market stalls, and floor plans for the temple interior from the base, the ground floor, to the upper floor, the basement, and the roof map. Okay, Quentin would like to hide the hyperlinks, the purple outline on the city map. Yeah, this is not actually the hyperlink itself. That's a convention we often use to make hyperlinks a little bit more visible, but otherwise the only change thing that would indicate a hyperlink is the change of the cursor. But if you don't like that, you can go in and do a list on the entity. That's just a purple square, and see it's on the sheet links, not on the sheet hyperlinks, and it's on the layer hyperlinks. And in that case, the easiest way is probably to just hide the layer hyperlinks. It's not so good because the hyperlink itself is on the same layer, so we might have to put in an extra layer here, but let me just check if I hide the links sheet. Yeah, they're gone as well. So what we're going to do is simply we're going to do change layer, select only the square. For that we're going to do combine and entity type. It's going to be a 2D polygon, which we are selecting, not the hyperlink. See, now we have only one entity selected. Do it. Select the new layer. So let's call that link marker and hide that. See, now the purple square is gone, but the hyperlink itself is still there, as you can see from when the mouse cursor switches from the arrow to the hand. Okay, that's gonna be it for today, folks. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for your questions. And this video is gonna go up on YouTube early next week, probably, perhaps a little bit edited. And for anybody who's not been able to watch it here. Otherwise, have a good weekend and see you again next week. All the best. Ralph from Pro Fantasy out.